The infamous Void glitch. There are a few ways to enter the Void, but in this video I'm going to focus on two major ways you can tweak your way into the Void in Jubilife City, specifically in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and two major uses you can get out of the Void. If you haven't seen the weird glitches video for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, check out the link for it in the description below. Since the way every version of the game behaves is slightly different, I've put this video together by pulling from several different sources, so you get a better big picture of how everything looks or could look, and not just a one-sided perspective from only my copy of the game. All credit will be given in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out to give support. Before I explain how to do the two tweaking methods, I want to briefly explain why tweaking works. The game is made of 32x32 regions, but only 9 of those are loaded at once. In the center of the 32x32 map, there are boundaries for each of the 9 tiled visible subregions. Anytime you cross a boundary, it causes the game to load the next area of the map. But you can actually overwhelm the game by crossing these boundaries too fast and in specific patterns, and this will cause the game to glitch. In the last video, I showed you the most common occurrences of what could happen if you attempt to tweak, and I'll recap that as well with the addition of something that happens a little less frequently. 1. When you tweak, the game might freeze. 2. You might hit an invisible wall. 3. You'll see the black void, but you won't be able to enter it. 4. You'll be able to see the black void and enter it. Or 5. This generally acts the same as a black void, except instead of being completely blacked out, it incorrectly loads the region. Okay, let's start with the fast bike method. Once you're in Jubilife City, which is here on the map, put your bike into the faster mode by pushing B. This is also known as fourth mode. For this tweaking method, you're going to go to the northernmost intersection within Jubilife City. These 4 activating tiles are normally numbered for the ease of communicating when trying out different patterns, and contrary to popular belief, there's more than one pattern you can use to enter the Void when tweaking. Just remember that there is always the risk that it can corrupt your save file, so be careful. This tile is known as 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Since you're trying to form a pattern while going at high speeds, it's very likely that a lot of practice will be required. So, here is one pattern that is known to work. I'm giving you more than one pattern for this fast bike tweak because it's a bit harder to pull off, so I think you want to have more than one option. For this first one, enter on 3, and then 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 3, exit. Here it is in action, so you can try it out and see if it works for you. And here it is slowed down. If you want to try a pattern that's a little bit more simple, try 4, 2, 1, 2, 1, exit. Sometimes the game will only require you to face a square like it does here, which will give a little bit of leeway for you to be less precise, but it's always better to just have it in accord with the pattern to begin with. If you can't seem to get the fast bike tweak method down, or your game just doesn't respond to this, try the slow bike method. For the slow bike method, you can go to the southernmost intersection of Jubilife City. The load intersection will be here, and you can use a pattern of 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, and exit. And yes, there are even more patterns you can use for each of these methods. Whichever method works for you, it will ultimately bring you into the Void if done successfully. Jubilife City isn't the only area where you can enter the Void, and these things I'm going to show you aren't the only things you can do in the Void. But we're going to be focusing on getting 2 Pokemon that are no longer available in this generation since online support no longer exists, and since online support no longer exists, the events that are required to take place can't exist, and therefore you can't get them without entering the Void. The first of those 2 Pokemon that you'll need the Void in order to get that we're going to go after is going to be Shaymin. Before entering the Void, make sure you've used the Explorer kit at least once, and don't forget to bring a Pokemon that knows how to fly or teleport, just in case. Also, make sure to look at your Pokétch on the bottom screen and turn it to the setting that has the pedometer. The pedometer is a thing that counts your steps. If you don't know how to get to it, just keep pushing the red button on the right side of the bottom screen, and eventually you'll see the step counter. Of course, we're going to have to start by tweaking, and once you successfully have tweak, go to the left. If you tweak and the game loads the region incorrectly, this would be the area where that would happen. You would see this as the region that is found to the east of Jubilife City, even though we are on the west of Jubilife City. But whether the game has loaded the wrong region or loaded nothing at all like it is here, you'll still be able to continue either way. As you saw, take 20 steps west to get to this point so that you're aligned with the left side of this sign. Then, go 10 steps north, 5 steps east, and 3 steps south. This initial sequence is exactly the same in both examples. Once you're here, just reload the graphics by opening and closing a menu. Then, once you've reloaded the graphics, you'll be in the corresponding spot that you would have been in if the glitch had not happened. Go through the door, and take 1 step south, 5 steps east, 430 steps north. And yes, all of these steps will be down below in the description, so you don't have to sit there and try and write down everything I'm saying as fast as you can. And then save and reset. Once you've reset, you can go 869 steps east, and then it's the big one, and this will take quite a while. So you might as well watch the entire Weird Glitches playlist on this channel, because you're going to be going north for 64,605 steps, because you'll be able to watch quite a few episodes. Then, once you're at this point, you're almost there. You just gotta go 9 steps to the east to line yourself up with the ridge of this mountainside, and then you kind of glitch right on the side of it to go north for another 25 steps until you get to the corner, and then turn east for another 11 steps. This should perfectly center you with the strip of land north of where you're standing. Just ride north to that strip of land and continue going north until you see the label in the upper left hand corner tell you that you're in Jubilife City. As soon as you see that, save and reset. It should go black as you are doing this. Once you're back in the game, refresh the graphics by opening and closing a menu, and you should be surrounded by flowers. Just continue north and eventually you'll run directly into Shaman. And there he is, waiting for us, surrounded by all of his little flowers. Okay, you want a Shaman? You got him. Now here is Darkrai coming right up. But before you start, you should know that finding Darkrai is going to require more than one long haul stretch like we had to do when finding Shaman. Since the first part of this is exactly the same as the first part of the Shaman example, I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker. So if you need to hear me say it slower, just go back to the Shaman example. Start by tweaking like you just saw, and then line yourself up with the road so you can enter the void. Then, 20 steps west, 10 steps north, 5 steps east, 3 steps south, so that you'll be in the right position to reload the graphics. Then, once you reload the graphics, take 1 step outside the building, 5 steps east, 430 steps north so you can save and reset, and this is where the 2 paths diverge. If you need more of a recap on that initial phase, just rewind the video and watch the Shaman example. Instead of going the way we went with Shaman, we're going to be going 415 steps south, 81 steps west, another 275 steps south, and this is where the first long stretch is, 64,552 steps west, which will take you to the sea. 82 steps north, you might start to realize that we ran into an island here, which will act as somewhat of a reference point. Continue 780 steps west, which will let you cut straight through a forest, and here is yet another long haul that will actually let you glide straight through Jubilife City, including the specific doorway that we did our first graphical reload with. If at any point you're on a long single direction trek and the game freezes, make sure to write down at what step the game froze, because when you reset and try again, you'll need to make sure to walk around that point, even if it means deviating slightly from the path in order to avoid the freeze, and then getting right back on the path. This is because, like I said earlier in the video, every version of the game is slightly different, so you have to take note of where your game freezes, if it freezes at all. After 65,449 steps north, we will finally have arrived at New Moon Island, the home of Darkrai. Get into this position, save and reset the game. When the game comes back on, it will be blacked out like usual, so just open and close a menu to reload the graphics and enter the forest region. And look who it is, Darkrai. In case you're wondering what to do after you catch Darkrai, as soon as you exit that little forest area, there will be a ship waiting to take you back. You might have noticed that parts of this video were slowed down or sped up, and that's because I was trying to show you in the simplest way possible, because otherwise this would be a very, very long, confusing video, and the whole reason for making this was because people were already confused to begin with about void glitching, from whatever prior knowledge they might have had. If you would like another, even more in-depth video about void glitching, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that there is a brand new series coming to this channel soon, so prepare yourself. I'm very excited for it, and I also want to give a thank you to everyone credited down below in the description, and thank you to everyone for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.